If you have a poetic or artistic spirit, it means you have stuff inside of you that wants to be let out. And it takes a variety of mediums. You could be a writer, you can be an artist, you could be somebody who's hands-on, who likes to give. You don't have to identify as a poet or artist. There's a unique kind of suffering that happens when that thing is kept inside of you. So when I'm teaching, my intention is to be as helpful as I can be for the babies who are under my wing. I taught in middle school, I taught in high school, and I taught at a community justice center. So the idea is, Julio, you get to be a mentor. You get to be hands-on in guiding kids you care a lot about. This is my passion. And pretty quickly in this context, you learn, on the one hand, yeah, technically you are helping in some way. On the other hand, the parameters of the system itself, the Department of Education, they're set up in such a way that it limits your capacity to do what you actually know you'd like to do. For example, because I am required to teach a curriculum that I know is bullshit. So you're sort of pseudo-helping. You're not really. You're doing everything you can to be this kind of holistic mentor for these babies. But at the end of the day, there's a test and they need test scores and so on. So you find yourself with a problem that you genuinely cannot reconcile from inside of there. So I knew pretty quickly. So a few years teaching, I was out of there. Let's apply this framework to waiting tables. As a server, my primary concern is providing an excellent experience for the customer, the person who's paying money for the food and the experience. That's what I care about. Okay, the restaurant's really busy, they have a system of their own. And one component of this system is flip tables, get people the fuck out of here quickly. They have their reasoning for it. It's justified. They've been doing this a very long time. But in that environment, if I find that I cannot uphold my value of being hospitable, of providing a nice, genuine experience for the customer, now I have a problem that I can't reconcile. So then you start to think, okay, I could try 100 more jobs. And there definitely are unique experiences in which a person can uphold their integrity, their values, and their principles and still be able to be an employee, because the environment is such that the parameters don't ask them not to be who they fundamentally are. Everything can't be just all jolly, dandy, perfect. Maybe it can, but you get the point. However, instead of bouncing from thing to thing, job to job to job, and being an employee here, employee there, I decide, like many of you, to bet on myself. How can I create a lane, a service, or product that allows me to generate enough revenue to stay alive as I build, right? While simultaneously maintaining and upholding my values and my principles. And so the hard part, when you do choose that path, if you will, is devising the systems that all these other contexts and industries already have in place, but without sacrificing or discarding your morals, your values, your integrity. And so it boils down to the very simple idea you've heard, and that is, any path you take involves challenge. Both paths in this case are hard. Which hard is worth it? I believe wholeheartedly that you don't have to sacrifice fundamentally who you are, what you care about most, and what's important for you as you're alive and you're connecting with other human beings or whatever it is you're into. What we see in society, people who feel stuck in the so-called 9-to-5 rat race, are people who justify their obligation to these environments that aren't compatible with their fundamental values and principles on the basis of, well, how am I going to eat? How are my kids going to eat? I don't know how the other thing is going to go. And so, of course, there's fear, but it is just really coding in your operating system fundamentally. It starts young, plain and simple. What you're exposed to predominantly around your family, the media, at the schools you attend, and all your peers is basically safety, okay? It's basically jobs. It is get an education. It is a narrow pool of opportunity. And so mind you, this has been getting beat into you since you were young. And you're fundamentally terrified of choosing yourself, right? Which is choosing us, truth be told, and not having it go spectacularly well, immediately. Not having that sense of predictability that you get with the job that you kind of have to sacrifice your soul for, but at least you know when you're getting paid and how much you're getting paid. So what do? What it boils down to is taking a clean and honest look at your foundational operating system, which is just comprised of beliefs. Your idea of like what's possible for you and what's not possible for you. It is all your core fears, and doing what we can to scrub that clean. And a lot of times what helps more than anything is taking meaningful action in the direction of your true desires. And that's just the pathway that enables you to not have to sacrifice like what you care about most, like me working in the restaurant industry or the education field. You spend enough time there to say, okay, this isn't the worst thing in the world, and I'm sure I could find a way to justify staying here. But at the same time, I'm not really allowed to do what I'm not only capable of doing, but what I believe the world actually needs. And so when you start taking steps, right, in the direction of, we'll say, your calling, and you experience some reward, right? People saying, wow, that was really helpful. Wow, I really like that. And maybe people start buying from you. Now you're training your brain to know that it's possible. And slowly but surely the operating system evolves. But if you got my free videos, right, the OG long form videos, the one that says factory reset, to this day, that was years ago. I was in the basement. To me, that's maybe the most important video I ever did, because it directly addresses the foundation of the operating system most people see the world through and base their actions off of. It's not an indirect plug or even a direct plug to say, go watch it, but go watch it. I mean all of this. I mean everything I tell you guys. Just some shit has a little more mask to it because algorithm. And so, what's value without visibility? But I think with time too, you realize like, fuck the antics, fuck the performance, just tell the truth. And you will resonate with whoever's aligned. So back to the whole point, always find a way to let out what's inside of you. And a better way to make that a thing you do consistently is by choosing the path that allows it for you, and not justifying why you stay somewhere that you hate, right? It's kind of pick your pain, but I really want us to do away with the romanticizing we've done as a culture with suffering. It is absolutely not necessary. They say like, oh, people talk about the 9-to-5 rat race, but they trade it for like the kind of creator, entrepreneur, artist rat race, like the algorithmic rat race, I gotta post every day. That's a false dichotomy. Like, it's like this or that. It's not true. There's something else, and that's the type of time I'm on. And if you're on that, you already know. I got my offers plain and clear, and don't waste your time. Don't waste my time. That's all. I respect you enough that you should know that if you're gonna come to me, be ready. And again, there's no being ready. You just gotta go for it. So cheers.